amazing viewers. It's a beautiful day today at Makudi, Benue State. I am Aluko Oluwanifemi, a representative of the Publicity Unit, NCCF Benue State, the Nigerian Christian Corpers Fellowship. We have something amazing for you guys today, and it's going to be a discussion on gaining financial stability in a regressing economy. Enjoy the show on Rejoice Vlog. Alright guys, we have today beautiful guests that will be digressing and discussing what we have today about gaining financial stability in a regressing economy.
My name is Polarisha Zinat Titilayo.
My name is Dennis Belief.
Right guys, once again our topic is gaining financial stability in a regressing economy. So we're going to ask Ms. Zenas the first question. Yes, so when talking about financial stability, what is your definition of financial stability?
Okay, to understand well what financial stability means, the ability to maintain your financial well-being despite economy degradation. And when we say a degrading economy, it means that the distribution, the production, the consumption, the government policies, that foster the productivity of an economy there's a deplete in that aspect. So with these indicators, there could be a level of degradation. So when a man can be able to maintain its well-being in the face of this parameters depleting, then that means that such an individual is financially stable.
Beautiful.
So thank you.
Thank you for that. You mentioned something. You said it has to do with maintaining yourself, right? So let's assume, for example, I am an employee that works for CBN and I'm earning nothing less than 1.6 million naira per month. Okay. How will I be financially stable when I am in huge debt to pay? How can I maintain myself with that 1.6 million without running into debts?
Okay, you said you earn 1.6 million.
Yes.
You are in debt.
Yes.
For you to be in debt, then you need to understand something. Your lifestyle is higher than the stream of income coming in. People will not pay you because you do business. They will pay you because you have a value to give. Anything that doesn't either bring value to you or doesn't increase your income is needed to be discarded.
Yes.
If purchasing air, does it bring money for you? If we have assets, we have things that have asset to us. We have things that have liability.
Yes.
So you need to learn to spend more on assets more than your liability. So number one, you need to budget. Number two, there is a place for you to invest wisely. Investing wisely. Like a lot of us, we invest into what we want than what we actually need. We put money into our wants than our need, and with that we want to maintain a balanced lifestyle, but your income is nowhere to be found around it. So one thing is that you need to put in place the place of budgeting. What are the things I need? What are my necessities that makes me? I was teaching in class. I said the necessities of a man is one, food, house, that is shelter. Clothing is actually not really, something that needed, but it's still part of it. But you need to put your priorities first. Budgeting. So when you understand the place of budgeting in the midst of your income, then you'll be able to plan. There's budgeting, there is forecasting, but I don't want to go there. So another thing you need to put in place is, I want to live. Some people have a flair for flamboyant lifestyles. then that means that you have to be able to create another streams of income that would, sponsor that your lifestyles. It's in this economy, you can't live by a 8 to 5 job alone, because there are a lot of things going out there. We need to understand, like I said, when the economy is bad, it affects the income of a man, and you need to create extra income apart from what we are doing currently. They said, jack of all trade, master of none. For me, that word is not for me. I believe that as a man of vision, you create a system that even though you are not there, your system work for you. And that is the mindset of a millionaire mindset, that when I am not there, my system work for me. I stumbled upon a video, and the man said, I have 88 companies. Just an individual has 88 companies, and those 88 companies have different, they are not producing the same thing. They are into different enterprises. So for an average man, he will actually do that. That a thing is good doesn't mean it is God. That's my common saying. So that is where the place of God comes in. You want to invest, you have a vision. Bring your vision onto God. God is the master planner. He has worked with me, and I can tell anybody, he's still someone you can also run business with. It tells you, because for you to gain financial stability, you have to have value to give. People will not trust you because you are rich. People trust you because who you have become over time in the process of creating wealth flow. So number one is that you need to be able to accumulate enough knowledge on what to do. You don't just invest in agriculture is the new home money, or you come and invest and you just see that because people are saying that agriculture is the new money, let me just take my money because I have 1 million somewhere. I just put your money there. You didn't receive the right information about that enterprise. And if you don't have accumulation of information of that enterprise, is it workable? Is this scalable? Is this something that can generate income over time? You will run at loss. And that is why you see a lot of business, yes, they have the money, they go into it, and we just within a year, just give them a year, they've run out of business. It's because they don't have the right knowledge of how these things works. So that is where you need to invest wisely. God will teach you, but there is a place for you to also, the Bible says, study to show thyself approved, a workmanship who is led not to be ashamed, but rightly dividing the word of truth. There's a place of you study, know what works, then invest in it.
Wow.
So in this economy now, that you're a doctor doesn't mean you can't do something else. Do you understand? All you need to do is go out of your comfort zone, study about that enterprise, know about it. Like I said, cost budgeting, cost cutting, cost what does not add to your life. What does not add to your life, discard it. So these things, we need to know it. And with that, you'll be able to, I have a lot of things to say, but I'll just list these 3 points that people can actually relate to it. As time goes on, I will shed more light on it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you very much, Ma. So now, in a nutshell, from what I understand, you have told me that you have told the viewers as well to make sure we budget. It is very important to budget. Me, I won't lie to you, I live a flamboyant life. I do. And my paycheck is not enough to pay all the bills. My paycheck is not enough to do everything that I want to do. So now I have learned from Ms. Zenas to make sure that I separate my needs from my wants, because my needs are more substantial than my wants. As long as I am satisfied with my needs, then if I have more, I can go out of my way to get the other things that I want, right? So my needs are the most important. As long as I have food, I have shelter, right? So those are like the most important things that I need. Not fancy new bags, fancy new shoes, fancy new hair, like I always do. So you guys should take that point from Ms. Zenas and make sure to budget, prioritize. Make sure that your needs are most important than your wants. Thank you very much for that.
You're
That is
welcome.
amazing. I fully understand now why my salary has not been enough for me to do everything that I want to do. Okay, Mr. Dennis,
Yes.
can you please give us your definition of financial stability?
Okay. Financial stability, it's actually a state of healthiness in your finances, maintaining that healthy financial system, being able to still cater for your need, meet up with the demands, financial demands in your life. It's what I refer to as financial stability.
Thank you very much for that. I have a question concerning what you have just said. In order for me to maintain my financial status as maybe the most wealthy chief in the community, for me to be able to maintain that, and also regarding the question that I asked her concerning how I can still make use of my salary, that my salary is not enough and stuff like that. Now, my question to you now is, how do I create more streams where I receive money? Like, how do I expand my income? How do I expand my income so that I'll be able to pay for everything that I want, including this hair that is on my head? Because I love to spend, and I've actually taken the advice from Ms. Zenas to always prioritize my needs above my wants, right? But I still want to live flamboyantly. How can I create multiple streams of income that will be able to help me to get all that I need?
All right. And I will try as much as possible to be practical about that. 3 months ago, I had a plan, and my plan was to add to my wardrobe. I plan to get a new suit, good trousers, and all that. I wrote it down in my plan, but I had to think back. I told myself I want to increase my finances, so I had to cut that down and see how I'll be able to manage what I already have. So this brings me to what I say. This brings me to contentment. You need to learn contentment, and you need to be very disciplined with your plans. That is your financial plan. If you've set a financial goal, you need to try as much as possible to discipline yourself to stick to that financial goal. Now, talking about how that you should create different streams of income so that you'll be able to be financially stable. Now, it is good that, yes, you should venture into investment businesses, learn some skills, and start up something that will give you more money from different aspects. That is diversifying your funds into different investments and businesses. While that is very important, one thing that is even much more important is understanding what you are putting your money into. That is to say, having a thorough understanding and being well grounded in what you want to go into, that business, that investment, that real estate and all that. Have a mentor, have an advisor that is going to take you through it all, someone who has already gained experience in that area, so that you will be able to be guided into what you want to venture into.
All right.
So that's one thing I can say. So you study, you have a mentor, and then you begin to go into what you want to go into. To end that, there is a saying that it is good that we go deep before we go wide.
Thank you so much, sir, for that. That is amazing. Still on the topic, gaining financial stability in a regressing economy, or moving over to the regressing economy part. Now, Ms. Zenas, can you please tell us, first and foremost, is Nigeria regressing?
Okay, so I explained earlier on that when we say regression, that means we need to understand that there are indicators that are declining. The economy of a nation, when we say it is regressing, what are the indicators? A decrease in the GDP of a nation.
Okay.
Number one.
Yes. And
that GDP now, it calculates the overall revenue of a nation.
Yes.
Of a nation. So when there is a reduction in this, can affect the economic growth of a nation. So, and also another parameters is a reduction. There's always a reduction when there's an economic regression. There's a reduction in the income flow of such nation, also the investment, and we need to understand all these things. So when we check Nigeria, we see that when we put all these parameters into places, we can see that we are not investing as much as it should be in these parameters. How many of our products are we consuming more? As an household, we should check the products we use in our house. Are they more of our local products or imported products? So majority of us will say, the government is bad. Somehow there's a quota which we are playing in the growth of the economy. We prefer to spend more on an imported product than our local products. So these things, a decline in these things also affects the economic growth. So when we check the nation as a whole, we see that nobody is investing more, even in their businesses. People tend to, in this nation, it is this nation I see that people invest minute in their business and they're expecting much revenue.
That's true.
You are not investing more. These are the things that also increases the economic growth. So these little practices that we see as normal are part of those things that either affect or improve the economic growth. So Nigeria, if I would submit on the basis of these parameters, I would say actually the economic growth of this nation is actually regressing. That is my conclusion. The things we do in this nation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ma, for that. So Nigerians, kindly cut down on your imports and let us build ourselves together. We are in this together. I'm part of you. So the more we get things done ourselves, that will reduce the way we import things over and over again. We are the ones that are causing all of this, to be very honest. We are the ones, and we are the only ones as well that can make it better. We are the only ones that can change this. So when it comes to importing hair, cars, shoes, accessories, I know you like it. I like it as well. But we just have to work together to make Nigeria better. Thank you so much, Ma, for that.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to throw the same question to you. What is Nigeria regressing?
Okay, the question is Nigeria regressing? Is Nigeria regressing? The answer to that question, simply put, the answer is yes.
Okay.
Nigeria is actually regressing, because regressing to say is simply put is decline in the economy of a nation. So in this context, decline in the economy of a nation. Now, some time back I was doing a study on the statistics as regard the GDP of Nigeria, which is the gross domestic product, and I found that from 2013 to 2023, that is within the space of 10 years, it shows that graph has been on a decline. That is, it shows that the gross domestic product of Nigeria has been on a decline, and gross domestic product is one of the metrics that you can use to measure the strength of the economic strength of a nation. So it's from that graph, it's so clear that Nigeria is regressing. So you begin to see that even in 2014, our GDP was $574 billion, and as at 2019 it became $474 billion, and currently in 2022 it went down again to $472 billion, and currently now in 2023 it was $362 billion. That's a clear indication that Nigeria is actually regressing economically. So one of the ways we can survive it as young persons, as people in a nation, is all that we've been discussing, that you should create streams of income, because for you to for you to be able to survive in a tough economy, you have to be tough.
Yes.
So even having 2 streams of income might not be enough, depending on what you actually need for you to maintain financial stability. So with that being said, it is needful that we create streams of income that will bring us to that point whereby we will be financially stable. To add to what I've said, what do we actually understand when we talk about gross domestic product? It is a quantitative measure of the financial value that is generated from our goods and services. The quantitative measure of the financial value that is generated from what? From our goods and our services. So with that being said, I would say that our economic growth is actually not there, and we are experiencing a regression in our economy. So, and I believe there is a way out of that, and we have role to play as individuals, just as Miss Zinas has said. We have role to play as individuals, just like even we young people. And I can tell you that overall, currently now, I wouldn't say young people are lazy. They're actually trying now to see how that they can learn skills, put some value into themselves that they can have to offer, and this will bring about job creation.
Okay.
Job creation.
Yes.
So we see that by the time we upskill ourselves, we invest in businesses here, we tend to even patronize our own produce and all that. We'll be able to increase our gross domestic product.
Okay.
And even in the formula, it shows that if you are importing more, far more than you are exporting, it have a way of decreasing the gross domestic product. And gross domestic product give us an insight of the strength of the economy of a nation.
Okay. Wow. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much. That is an eye-opener to all of us, including you watching this video. So, people of God, please, let us cut on the imports. Let us cut on it. Let us focus more on building ourselves. Like he and Ms. Zenas has said, we have to build ourselves because we are the only ones that can. There is no country that will come and be like, oh, they want to help Nigeria grow. No. We have to do this by ourselves. That is what makes us a country. That is what brings togetherness. That is what makes us one. So thank you very much for that, sir. And on to the final question. As a core member serving in Makudi, Benue State, is 33,000 naira enough for you to do all that you want? Okay. Thank you so much for that question. That 33,000 naira actually, compared to when they started paying it, we knew that the nation is not the way it used to be then. But now things are no longer the way it used to be. There is high rates, things are really on the high side. So personally, the 33,000 naira is actually not enough for me in this economy situation. So one of the things that has helped me over time is that, though, like we know where the place we are staying, there's a place for you to budget on things, to buy and everything, pay for feeding, and there are a lot of times where I have to trek to work, Wow.
where I have to trek because I have to cut short my expenses. Things, that is where budgeting comes in. I have to budget on how to spend my money and to invest. Like I said, in the midst of that, there is no money. The money is not enough. I paid for a business course to upskill myself also. So budgeting allows me to achieve these goals. So one of the things that has helped me over time is budgeting, and also upskilling, investing into other businesses.
Okay.
I do other businesses apart from being a corper here. This is my main job, but apart from being a corper, I have other business that is also bringing in money from me. So I was able to locate a problem in this nation, in this place we are, and find solution to it. And with that, I'm gaining extra income. So the 30,000 is not enough for me, but I was able to make use of other opportunity to sponsor my lifestyle.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Am I really surviving with only the 33,000 naira rate that I'm being paid? The truth is that just having only that 33,000 naira to depend on, that will be very, very wrong, because 33,000 naira is not enough to sustain you. So with that being said, it is needful that we also try as much as possible to upskill ourselves, that is to equip ourselves with the necessary tools and skills that this 21st century needs, for one. Then also, to add to what she has said, now we've seen majority of us go into other jobs, like some of us render services as regards teaching, taking up lessons for students so that we can have other means of getting money.
Income, yes.
I get it. Then again, we also try as much as possible. Me, basically, things that I do is how that I take up other jobs, like teaching jobs. Then I also run some freelancing online, like I run affiliating on graphic design. I do studies on stocks and investments, trading and all that, so that I'll be able to generate more money for myself, for my upkeep, and to be able to maintain myself and all that. So having said that, it is needful that I understand. So
Right.
with that being said, having a skill, having a plan, that is a budget,
Yes.
and also running other jobs aside your PPA
Main
job,
yes.
the spare time you have, you are using it to run another job. It will help you to be able to generate more money for yourself.
Thank you very much, sir, for that. And with that, we have come to the end of today's vlog. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I remain your host, Aluko Oluwanifemi. Stay tuned on Rejoice Vlog for the next video. Bye.